Ready?
1, 2, 3.
And okay. I'm still feeling it in my mouth. That's why I'm like, fuck.
Oh, the heat.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Kevin had some J.O. jerky. It's legit. Zoom in. 4K over here.
It's
Try
spicy.
some. Delicious.
It has a kick to it. I'm not good with spicy. Filipinos, we don't really eat spicy in our food.
Welcome to my world.
All right. Here we go.
I don't know if it's true, but they say spicy helps you lose weight. Obviously, I don't know if it's true. I take that back. Never said.
All right. Let's go. What up, beautiful people? Welcome back for another Raw and True from Our Point of View podcast. I'm your host. My name's Kevin. They call me Skib.
What's up, y'all? It's great. Peace.
And what are we talking about today, Gray?
In this episode, we're talking about support.
The support.
The support.
Let's go. The support.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Before we get into all that, Gray, do you have a quote of the pod or quote of the day for us?
Today, I don't. JK. Quote of the pod, y'all. Life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you have to keep moving.
Oh.
Facts.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's
I like
good.
That. I like that one.
That's good. That is good. If we stay stagnant for too long, sometimes our balance doesn't really work out. That's great. Wow. Okay. And full disclaimer before we get into this topic for today, Gray and I are not life coaches. We're not counselors. We're not therapists. We're just two individuals who would like to share our experiences and things that we've went through in our life to help others out there who may be experiencing the same thing we are and who may need to have a different perspective of some of the things that they think about or go through in life. So I'll start with this. Great. Do you feel like you received the support that you needed in your life that helped you carry on that support for others?
To be honest, Kevin, no. I didn't really come from a white picket fence background in terms of family matters, and I didn't always have their words of encouragement and even the direction in life that I wish I had. However, I do know, or I feel personally, that I have come to terms and I've learned and grown enough to be able to provide the support that I never received to my family and to my son. That's a very good question. Do you feel like you received the support in your life that has helped you perpetuate that further on?
Great question. Next question.
Next question.
No, in all honesty, to an extent. If my family knew that I had a big event coming up, then they would support it, right? So, for example, like graduating K through 5, graduating middle school, graduating high school. But it wasn't like a big thing. It wasn't like every single family member showed up to this graduation. They showed up to the graduation party. They showed up after everything happened. But it's nice to just see your whole entire family in the crowd cheering you on, because you also see other people's families doing the same thing. And I guess this is also where it leads to comparisons as the thief of joy. Because I've also seen where kids who were walking the stages didn't even get a single scream. They didn't get a single cheer or someone shouting out their name. But there was those people who got those lays. They got laid a lot. You can barely even see their head. You know what I'm talking about? You also hear.
Got laid a lot.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. I love lace.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So they got laid a lot. There was also those family members or people who had their huge family, like their cousins, their aunties, their uncles. When they walk the stage, you hear them, screaming to the top of their lungs. And you would hope that would happen for you too, but sometimes it didn't. Mm-hmm. Some people out there didn't receive that type of support also. But like I mentioned, comparison is the thief of joy. It was great to also just know that my family members were there. Some of my family members were there to support and cheer me on for my accomplishments. But like I said, it was certain things that I got supported for. Um, this is not a knock to my mother, as always. It's not a knock to my mother. I understand that she worked graveyard. She couldn't attend everything. Um, but she did go to the important things. She went to my graduations K through 5. She went through my graduations for middle school, and she was there for high school. I didn't walk in college, but I knew for a fact she would be there. All of the big events that I knew my mom would be there for, she was there.
You didn't walk in college? It was just like a choice?
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
choice. Yeah. I didn't really feel like walking in college. I just didn't feel like it was the need to. So I didn't do it.
Okay.
Maybe it was also because it was a play on, thinking that the support wouldn't be there. So what's the point?
Hmm.
You know, sometimes when you go to I see some of my friends when they graduate or when they have a big event, like it's a huge party. Their whole entire family members show up and they're all there, you know? But for me, it was different. It wasn't like that. I didn't get all of that kind of support. So I guess you could say I was feeling some type of way with it, which is probably the reason why I didn't want to walk in college because I knew that no one would really show up. It would just probably just be my mom's. Um, and so with that support, like even my mom's didn't show up to some of the things that I wish she showed up in. We talked about this a lot during our history. Like for example, you know, even though I played badminton. Don't judge, okay? I didn't play basketball like all Filipinos do. I played badminton. Um,
Wait, hold on. You were like on a team and stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
3 times I was on badminton.
Yeah.
Two-time varsity captain. Yeah, co-captain one, but 2 time.
You need to be yelling that. You need a t-shirt.
And so like you know those times like when I don't know if we had like a special event where you know seniors were playing specifically on their last day or whatever. And some parents showed up, but it was crazy because badminton is like known to be like an Asian sport or whatever. Literally, like barely any Asian parents were there rooting for their kid on their last day of playing in high school. And like other things that I wished my mom was there for, she couldn't. It's not the fact that she didn't want to, but she couldn't, and I fully understood that. Now, the reasons why I'm going into all of this is because I've realized that when it comes to support, you have to let people know. It's something that I didn't really understand before, but I do now. How are your friends ever going to understand or know that you're graduating college if you don't tell them about it? How are your friends ever going to know that you're graduating through high school or walking the stage if you never tell them about it? I expected some of my friends to just be like, hey, I'm going to graduation. Hey, I want to go to this. Hey, I want to go to that. But the thing is that, like, if you don't say anything, they'll never know. If you don't tell your family members about it, they'll never know. You can't really expect your family members or your friends to be there for your most important parts of life if you never tell them. And that was my fault. That was my own issue. I didn't really tell my cousins, my family, or my friends that I was doing this or doing that or having this big event. And I think it's because of the way my childhood played out with I didn't really receive anything or get anything when I was younger. I wasn't really celebrated in life through all my birthdays when I was younger. So what's the point of telling people because I feel like they're not going to show up. But then I learned later in life that I have to tell people about what's going on in my life for them to be like, I want to go to this. I want to be there for that. That sounds like a huge accomplishment. Let's go party. Let's go celebrate your life. Let's go have fun, right? Because I have also learned that you can't expect your family members or even your friends to know exactly when your birthday is and for them to be like, let's go out for your birthday. Let's go have fun. Let's go do this. Now, for granted, there is some friends that will do that for you, But if they don't know exactly when your birthday is, that's never going to happen. Or it won't happen at all. Like, for example, this year, my birthday, I said, hey, cousins, let's go do something big. I was thinking of going to a Brazilian steakhouse. We all went there, and everybody was saying they're down. And I was like, wow, I've never had this before. Because I didn't think that people would show up for my special day. But because of the fact that I said, hey, I want to do something special on my birthday, let's go here, everyone was like, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down. And that's where the support comes. And so, like, that made me realize, like, people will be there for you. People will support you in life as long as you let them know exactly what's going on. Because we all have different lives. All of us are just in our own worlds trying to make it in this life. You got your career. You got your career going on. You got a family going on. You got your kids to worry about.
Yep.
And then you also have this move to this new house. And you don't know exactly, you can't keep a track of all these things, right?
Yep.
So for me to be able to be like, hey, my birthday's coming up. Are you down? You're like, yeah, of course I'm down, right? And that's for everybody else. Everybody's trying to live as an adult. No one's going to understand exactly what's going on in everybody's life because we're all so focused on our own. But if you were to tell me, hey, your birthday's coming up, I'm having this birthday bash, can you come through? Of course I'm there, right? That's where the support lies. Now, if I were to be like, hey, can you come to this? And they're like, sorry, I can't. They don't really give a great excuse or they don't really give a great reason. That's when you can be like, all right, the support's not really there. But that's how I started to realize, like, support can be given, but sometimes you just got to give a helping hand to let them know, like, I would love you to be there. And they'll be like, of course I'm there. Of course I'm there. You know what I mean? So did you ever kind of have a moment in your life where you felt like you weren't being supported and there was ways you could change that, or you felt like support came from your own and you were able to provide it for everybody else around you?
When I was younger, I disinfective. When I was younger, I can say I didn't have the support I wish I had, and one of the things you say a lot that really resonates for me is like comparison is like the killer or stealer of joy. Because you would do that. You would compare yourself to other families that are to your left and right, and you wouldn't have as many cousins there, as many both parents, and it kind of took like a little piece of joy away from you in a sense. And because of the way I grew up and the family history I have learned to become independent.
Mm-hmm.
So from like middle age up to like young adult, I learned how to be really independent, and I didn't necessarily need the support of others. Though I can't fake it and say I wouldn't have appreciated, because it would have been nice to be able to lean on someone and ask for advice during hard times in my life. Um, and as I've gotten older, I think we've mentioned it a lot of times throughout this entire podcast, where communication is definitely the foundation for a lot of these like misunderstandings and these problems we may have. And I think being able to communicate can help alleviate some of these issues that we may be imposing on ourselves, really. And when we talk about communication, something that really comes to mind is the whole saying where they say, "A closed mouth don't get fed," right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is someone going to know you have something going on if you're not relaying that to them? How is your partner going to understand you need certain kinds of love languages if you're not telling them these are the things that is lacking in a relationship? So that's my answer to that. Kevin, what does support mean to you?
Mm. Very easy and good question.
Well, let's rephrase that.
Okay.
Okay. Kevin, what did. Okay.
Who's
Kevin. Kevin. Okay, sorry. I feel like. Just bring it back.
ready?
Drake.
Fuck.
He seems like he'd be that kind of person to be like, shh, you guys be crying on set. Drake. Okay. I would love to meet him though.
I do too.
All right, for sure. Kevin, did the meaning of support change from when you were a kid to the meaning of what you feel support is now in your current life?
That's yeah, that's a valid question. And honestly, yeah, it definitely felt like yeah. In my younger years, I felt like support was something to expect. I felt like support was something that is gonna happen to me regardless of what was gonna happen. I felt that support was always gonna come to me whenever a big event happened or even a small event. Um, and I didn't have to ask or tell people to come. Um, but now I understand that support is something that you can receive from others as long as they know exactly how to give that support, if that makes sense. So communication is all relative again, right? We're talking about communication again, and it's coming back into this topic. Because, like I said, before I used to expect support. Now it's more of a, hey, can you come here? Can you join me in this? And that's when I'll actually see if they're willing to come or not. Because everybody has their own lives, like I said. Excuse me. Um, and the way I started to understand this for this type of support, where you have to tell and let people know exactly what you're going through in life, is because of my friends, right? My friends are the ones that kind of helped me understand that your support will always be there for you as long as you ask for it. And the right people will support you in life, whatever it is, right? If you get married, if you have kids, if you get a big promotion, if you have a change of career, if you decide to move to a different city in the same state, your support will be there for you as long as you let them know. It is not something that can happen off bat. It is not something that's like, oh my God, you're doing this. That's insane. Let's go. Because they don't know exactly what you're going through, right? And so, like we've mentioned, communication is key. It ties back into everything that we've just talked about. But support is there. Um, and in the future, I know for a fact that if I ever wanted to be supported in life, all I have to do is talk to the right people, and I will receive that support. And it's a nice peace of mind knowing that all I have to do is tell people about what I'm doing, what I'm accomplishing, and I will receive the support from the correct people. Um, so I'm communicating it first and foremost, whether it be anything in life that I'm getting, you know, because like let's say for example, let's say I'm at work, I'm getting a huge promotion at work, different job title and everything like that. I know I'm getting a job title. I know I'm having a big ass change in my life. But the people that don't know this is, for example, my mother or even a significant other. They don't know that I'm having this big ass um, promotion in my career. So I go home and I'm exactly waiting for like a nice welcome, a party, an exchange, or whatever. But I don't receive that. That's where the expectations kind of kill it because you expect them to know that you're getting this big promotion, but you don't. But it is after I say, hey, I'm getting a huge promotion. Like I'm getting a different job title. I'm starting to make figures that I wanted to when I was younger. And then that's when everything comes into play and they say, holy crap, let's go celebrate. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to eat. Oh my God, that's great. I'm proud of you. That's where all of that ties in. Um, and so with that, I've learned that support, because I'm getting it, I'm also able to give it. So, for my question for you, Gray, is how do you find yourself giving support to everyone around you in ways that make you feel comfortable, but also make you feel fulfilled?
It took a long time for me to be the person I am to this day. And the person I am now wants to see everyone around me succeed. I find joy in knowing that my friends, my family, my acquaintances, whatever it may be, are succeeding in whatever journey and path they're traveling. I feel like it's very important to support those around you because it's the saying where they say treat others that you want to be treated.
Mhm.
And I feel like you need to support, encourage, and bring up those around you so they
Mhm.
can do the exact same thing to you
Mhm.
and those around in that circle.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if someone in this world, in this, I don't know if there was someone individually getting to where they are in life. I felt like everyone kind of had some kind of support system,
Mhm.
it being a single person or a group of friends or whatever it may be, a mentor.
Mhm.
But I feel like to really grow to the highest possible um, person or capacity that you're capable of, your full potential, you need to call on the support of those. And so the way I give it is by utilizing the five love languages, right? Words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch is a high five. You know what I mean? And acts of services. And the gift giving from me is usually a shot or some kind of meal. But that's just me, right? It may differ. And that's all I have for that. Did
That's great and valid.
I answer your
No,
question?
you're good. You're good.
Okay. I
Um,
feel like I don't mind. I don't mind. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, Kevin.
it
that's
does.
that's
It
all I
does.
got. Yeah.
Uh, and I think the other thing I also wanted to mention about support is I was in a place or in a space where I thought that everything should always be reciprocated. And I think it was because of the way I was raised. My mom or my grandparents would always buy something for my brother or I. So I always thought life should always be reciprocated. If I do this, you should give me this, right? For the longest time, I have always thought that something is always to be reciprocated. And so once I was able to ditch that and realize that that stuff is childish, right? It also is, well, for me, it was childish. I won't say for everybody out there it's supposed to be childish, but for me, it's childish. Um, it helped me be more at peace and more supportive for my friends out there. So, I have friends that have clothing brands, right? You know who they are. And every single time they host an event or they have an event, I'm always there. It doesn't matter if I don't host an event in the future. It doesn't matter if I don't have a clothing brand. It doesn't matter if they can't come to this or that in the future. I just know for a fact I'm supporting them because I want to support them and I'll be there for them, right? Um, and so once I was able to just support them and not expect anything back, I was more happy about being supportive. Um, showing up to their events, buying whatever drops they have, and it's all just support, 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 support. And it helps also because of my relationships too. I also realized that I was also reciprocating love or support in specific ways. So I said, you know what? F that. I'm going to be supportive if I want to be supportive. If they don't want to be supportive back, it's all good. It's a testament to me and me being supportive of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that my friends have done. There's a lot of things my family has done. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show up. I want to be there for them. This is their time, not my time. Don't care about who or what I'm doing. I'm going to be there for them. And the reasons why I'm kind of saying all this is because I wanted to ask Gray, are you that kind of supportive person where it's like, I need this, so I'm going to give back support, or you're just like, support, 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 no matter what it is?
It's a good question, Kevin. I am actively participating in becoming a person that doesn't need to have the reward system activated,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes any sense. I hear you, and I'm realizing like it is a true testament of your character and who you are as a person to be able to support those and not expect anything back. I don't know, like truthfully, wholeheartedly, I don't know if that is something I can fall into category wise, because I think I still do or expect things to be given back for when I give something,
Mm-hmm.
being, my time, my support, whatever it may be, right? Because I'm guilty for sure. For instance, to help illustrate this a little bit better, is I'm guilty of being invited to a birthday party and I'm like, oh, they've never came to my birthday party, so I'm not gonna go to theirs. You know what I mean? Even though it may be a good time, maybe I might slide through and drink a few bottles. Okay. Even though it may be a good time, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but that's just kind of the mindset I have with the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is one of those things where if there is someone in my life that has shown me they are really there for me, then I'll make it a priority to be there for whatever event they invite me to. Even if I'm not invited per se directly,
Mm-hmm.
if I know something is going to go on, or for instance, if they get promoted or they just purchased a house, I'm going to give them a call and be like, hey, what's good? How are things? I heard this, that. Congratulations, those words of affirmation or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, like to answer your question, I give support when I can,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to be better to not expect things in return.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm fully there yet,
Yeah.
but I am taking accountability and knowing that I am that kind of person to hopefully blossom and grow out of that cocoon of minds.
Mm-hmm. Bird gang. Bird gang.
I thought a cocoon. That is not a cocoon. That's what I thought of though. Oh shoot.
Oh.
Okay.
No, that's good. Um,
Yeah.
the
That's all I got.
no, it's good that it's great that you're opening up your mind to it. You know what I mean? Because I was like that for the longest time too. I was the type of person to always be like, oh, they didn't come to mine. Why would I go to theirs? And I think it's because of the fact that I've changed my perspective on how I want to perceive life. I don't always want things to come full circle. If I can make somebody happy by showing up to their party, I want to do that. That's just a testament to my own self. It
Mhm.
definitely doesn't have to be something that you have to do. Um, and it's just because like sure they might not be able to go to this or go to that, but if I know for a fact that I'm content with going to theirs and knowing I went to theirs and they're happy with that, that's all that is good for me, you know. But Gray is not a selfish guy. He has been there for his son ever since he was born, and he continues to be there for his son, not knowing exactly what may happen in the future or if that type of support will ever be there for him from his son. Um, and that's one of the best things. It's that he is fully supportive of his son no matter what happens. And I see it every day. I see Gray, taking care of his kid, making sure he's fed, making sure he has clothes on, making sure that he can relax and have fun and enjoy himself being a kid. And I also see that also with his wife. Um, and he's fully supportive of what his wife does. And it's sometimes it might be 50-50, other times it might be 80-20, sometimes it might be 90-10. But Gray is a fully supportive guy. And that's the reason why I asked you that question because I wanted to see what you would answer. But I wanted to give you a perspective also of knowing you're a guy that doesn't expect it in return. You support Kylo in many different ways, and you might never get it back, but you're just trying to be that guy. You know what I mean? It's getting deep.
That's what's up. Thank you.
It's getting
Thank you.
deep. Um, Now I can't, some a testament to other all the other people. I fully get it. You might not have that a full. Um, I don't know how to say it, but you were there for my birthday. I don't know when's the last time I was there for your birthday, but you were there for my birthday. You know what I mean? And that shows exactly what it is, right? You know that I would be there for you no matter what. So you were fully happy with just coming to mine. And that's where it lies. Uh, it got deep.
I
uh,
was I was there for the food. JK, JK. Yeah, brother. You know what I mean? I love you as a brother, and
I love you too, man.
why not go out to support? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean it's not a great comment or statement. It's not that deep, but yeah, sometimes you have people in your life that you find a priority to keep close.
Hmm.
And for whatever reason that is, right? For whatever reason that is, because I think everyone has relationships in their lives that are arbitrary, that don't really mean much. And then you find those souls that really impact you in a positive way that
Hmm.
help you feel things that you never thought you can either feel or will feel or will ever feel again. And so you keep them close. And
Hmm.
so you do what you can, you go out of your way. And yeah, I think it's important to keep those people close. Um, and I think it's also very important to keep yourself in mind in terms of spending time with, if that makes any sense. Like, I know outside of the podcast, I was telling Kevin, I had a talk with someone recently where this person is married with a child, and she kind of felt like she was lost from who she was. She almost felt like she lost herself as a person.
Mm.
And I know as a parent, as a father, you dedicate so much of your time to raise your child. And even so much with my case because my child's autistic.
Hmm.
So not only do we have frequent or yearly visits at the hospital, but he has like weekly therapy to make sure his development is progressing as it should, to make sure that his development isn't recessing in sense.
Hmm.
And so with that, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of giving yourself to others
Hmm.
and not necessarily receiving it in return at that moment in time.
Hmm.
So when I had this talk with my friend, I told her like it's important to have your time as a family,
Hmm.
you, your husband, your child,
Hmm.
however many kids you have.
Hmm.
And then it's very important to have time for you and your husband
Hmm.
as a couple without your child,
Hmm.
to rekindle that fire, to rebond.
Hmm.
And then it's very important to have that time with yourself individually
Hmm.
to build who you are foundationally, to have time to read, exercise, be creative, and whatever it is that fuels your soul. And just because you want to do these things by yourself or with your husband or wife without your child doesn't make it doesn't translate to being less of a mother or less of a father. There's a saying, right? Like you can't love others without loving yourself. And it's like this podcast and everything that we're talking about, I feel is em- hopefully it's quintessential. Hopefully it is embodiment of what I'm about to say, where you need time to work on yourself so you can work on your relationship with others. So you, when you find your partner in life, can work on a new life and pass on those traits and those attributes, those characteristics and those love languages so they can continue on that generational mental health wealth
Support.
support.
Yeah.
So they can pass. I'm gonna say it all. I'm gonna say that last part over this shit. Fuck that. So they can pass on that mental health support.
Facts.
Facts.
Drop 'em with facts. That's great. That is a great conversation that you have with your friend, especially like the self-care, which we will also talk about in a later podcast. It's a huge topic is self-care. But the fact that you were able to support your friend through it all
Yeah.
and talk to him about it, and that's awesome. That is great. Like, support is something that we definitely need to do for a lot of our friends, family, and even ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We have to support ourselves through a lot of things in life, and just to get through things.
It's okay to not be okay.
Yes.
It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yes.
And granted, you may not feel comfortable asking anyone for help,
Mhm.
but a lot of the times it's just these things that are made up in our heads, like you said, right? These thoughts are thoughts; they're not facts.
Mhm.
So why not? What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is awesome. That is fucking mic drop. Wait, I don't want to drop this mic.
$5.
But after all of that being said, I think the one thing about it is that we can all change and we can all have these love languages and we can all have the support. But the main thing that is very muy importante, Spanish again, is that it's consistency. We definitely have to be consistent with all of the things that we want in our lives and how we want to change in our lives, which leads us into the next episode. So, Gray, do as you please.
Yee! All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the Raw and True from Our Point of View podcast. We hope you enjoyed. If you can relate or have any comments about things we should talk about in the next episodes, go ahead and comment down below. Love, kindness, and respect. Peace.
Yay! Let's go! Another one down. Another. DJ Khaled, another.